Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of working on this 1998 Dodge Cummins that I bought to be a family man truck. I bought this truck because, as you know, we're expecting our first child, a daughter, and I drive a 12 valve and it does not have a back seat. It's a first gen, they never came with back seats. I wanted a specific combination of truck that they only offered for 4 to 6 months, which is only in 1998 they offered the 12 valve Cummins with a rear opening door. In 98, they went to the VP44 electronically controlled injection pump, electronically controlled truck, but they did that in 98 and a half. I bought this truck for a reasonable price, if you can call it reasonable now with all the work I'm having to do, because it was wrecked in the front. The core support was messed up, the bumper was messed up, the fender was messed up, the bed was messed up. It has the sealer / tar spilled all over the cab, all over every body panel essentially. So that's why the truck is apart, because I'm trying to fix the core support, get new radiators, get a new fender, fix the door, fix the bed, just fix the entire truck basically. So we're in the middle of sort of a mess. And what we're trying to do, we're about to try and fit the door, because we want to see if the door is messed up or if the cab is messed up. And I'm trying to just source parts to put this truck back on the road. We're still on disassembly mode with this truck. And what we're trying to do right now is figure out this door cab situation, because this door doesn't shut right at all. And
I shouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be able to reach in and take your money.
Yeah. Somebody could rob you from that.
They can reach in here and rob you.
So this door is kind of mangled anyway, if you can see it. And then it got swiped here, and so we don't know if the cab got tweaked during this hit to push the door out of line, or if the problem is in the door. We don't know. We're thinking that the cab is okay, because like Dad said a minute ago, that if the cab was tweaked, the front window would have got busted, which is true because glass doesn't flex. Metal will. Glass will not. It will break. And it probably would have cracked right there and went all the way up.
It would have cracked here. It would have cracked.
So the glass is all right. So the way we're going to test this to see if it's the door or the cab or an alignment, like it pushed it out of alignment or something, because the hinges look okay.
And look here.
The hinges look fine. Nothing, it doesn't look bent. What?
Look at that gap. That door's not pushed back.
Yeah, the gap looks okay all the way up, like it's not pushed into the back door. So what we're gonna do is take the door off this, because I got this cab, and I'm glad I had it up on Facebook, and I'm kind of glad it didn't sell, because here we are needing stuff from Tucker. Tucker, what are you doing? Where's your ball? Where's your ball? That's not a toy. Get out of there. Where's your ball? He'll go find a ball. Watch. Go get your ball. There's nothing. Stop it. You're gonna hurt yourself.
He thinks he found a turd.
Yeah. This door is in a lot better shape because it didn't get wrecked. And there's a little dent here, but I would much rather fix this than the crunch. The crunch right here, because getting this to realign is gonna be a pain. This is a regular dent, and if I take the door panel off, I might be able to get to the back of that. So I'm not worried about this. I know this door's straight for sure. This truck wasn't wrecked here. So we're gonna take this door off, put it on that cab, and if everything aligns, then something's wrong with that door. And if it won't align, I don't know, swap the cab too. We're swapping everything else out. Fenders, hood, bed. Why don't we just do the cab? What did he do Sunday?
Kind of partially getting dark, and I've never had this happen. It was kind of getting dark. I was out here by myself, and I was walking over here to get tools, and all of a sudden I felt something wet on my hand, and it was him. And he come up and nosed me and wanted me to pet him. He don't usually do that. He's never done that before. Have you, Tucker?
The trick is going to be getting all this electrical out of this door. Well, I think 2 are nuts and 2 are bolts. 13 millimeters, you can get to them like pretty easy. Once I unlatch it, it should kind of just free up. Yep. Okay. Oh gosh. Not that hard when everything has good wiring and good connectors, and it just plugs in like a Lego set. The real issue with a dent like this or a crunch like this is you can't get to it from the other side. Like if there's a dent on the door, you know, it's like a box, but you can get inside the box from the door panel and the holes from the factory. But so if you want to hit this from the other side, you can't. There's a floor and you can't get to it, so you either have to like get one of those like stud welding things and weld studs onto it and pull it out. Well, really, I don't know how else you would do it. Or drill a hole, weld a bolt, or weld something onto it and pull it out this way. Or another thing I thought of doing was cutting a piece off of the other cab that I just showed you, because it's good. Like cutting it here, cutting it up and around, and just replacing that whole piece with the good piece from the other cab. That's a possibility. But for a minute, I want to talk about something that I've really been enjoying, and that is these Raycon Everyday Earbuds. These things have a really small, ergonomic, light design. They fit in my ear perfectly. They don't fall out no matter what I do. They come with noise cancellation feature to block out outside noise when you're using them. You can get these Raycons in any one of your favorite colors. I chose black because black is one of my favorite colors. You can also get these really cool case protectors in almost any color you want. I chose this rocky granite looking color because I think it just fits my vibe personally. I spend a lot of hours editing outside to bring these videos to you guys, and the noise cancellation really comes in handy to block out the road noise and the train that's nearby. Raycon's Everyday Earbuds start out at about half the cost of other premium audio brands. On top of the awesome 32-hour battery life Raycon Everyday Earbuds get you, 10 minutes of charging can get you 90 minutes of battery life, which I think is genius and really convenient. So do yourself a huge favor and buy the best-in-class earbuds at the most affordable price by going to buyraycon.com/Theetravisb to get up to 20% off site-wide. That includes Raycon's Everyday Earbuds and the headphones. You can use the link in the description. I also have one in a pinned comment down below. Now let's get back to the video. So here is all the parts I ordered from Rock Auto and some from eBay. I know this is the grill, so the rad's not in here. It's our new fan. Okay, this is our condenser carpet kit. So this is not the radiator. I'm saying this is probably our ticket. You know, one thing they did do really good on them second gens is the cooling system. Killer cooling systems. The radiators definitely were big enough. Absolutely. Looks great. Looks just like factory. That's what I like to see. Oh, it's even got the little rubber mounts on the bottom. Perfect. Cool. I was trying to reuse my my old ones. These ones have them on it, so cool. Looks good. It's missing some of the tabs though. There's tabs here, like the the positive, oh, they're in the box. I think I see one. Maybe I shouldn't start talking crap until I look everywhere in the box. Here's one. Oh, there's the second one. Man, the cats would love that box. I want this truck to be like perfect. I don't always go for perfection, but this truck's gonna be like, look brand new. Okay, this is our fan clutch. Here's a taillight. I swear it's like Christmas morning. I don't even know what some of this is. Ooh, nice original equipment looking assembly. It's even got the headlight. Cool. Brand new she was. Brand new aluminum transcooler. Look at that. Easy to replace, even in the truck, man. I love they don't have bolts on the bottom, just those rubber things. 2 bolts, yank it up, it's done. Very easy to do in these trucks. It's a good thing to save the old stuff, the removable stuff. I did save these clips from the old Radiator, but luckily this one came with new ones. And I also saved those rubbers down on the bottom, but this one came with it. But I saved the cap. These aren't expensive. But, you know, sometimes radiators come with caps and sometimes they don't. Most of the time they do. This one didn't. So I saved the old cap. Boom. Saves you, you know, whatever. I don't even know what a cap costs. $10, something like that. But I don't have to go to the store to get it. I don't have to order it. I had it right here. Boom. Just like that. Now we can start with the back side.
Yeah, I finally got that stupid. There's like 36 bolts in that oil pan.
I know. It's insanity.
I don't know why. And then,
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, dude, I know. There's a bolt every inch on them oil pans. It's crazy.
Why? Why so dang many bolts? Hold on.
All right, I'm lifting it. Hurry up.
I'm hurrying.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, hold it with my knee. All right, hold on. Yeah, come in a little bit more. Maybe you could go ahead and set it up there and latch it.
Well, I'm kind of trying to.
Because I can't get these door hinges.
I mean, I'm about there.
All right. Will it set up there?
Oh, no. These doors won't work. They're a different shape. Well, 94 to 97. Well, 94 to 98 doors won't work because the doors are a different shape. Because you got this.
Hold on, it's going to fall.
Whereas the 98's straight, it's like a straight L. And then down here, see, it fits all right here, then it curves. The 98 door is more of a straight L shape instead of this curve. So if you see down here on this 98 door, it's a straight L. So to continue putting this core support together, the next thing that has to go on is the intercooler. And the intercooler has the brackets on it for the condenser and the tranny cooler. So I can't put the intercooler on yet for a few reasons, because it mounted here, so right here and on the other side. So since this came off a gasser, it's got the holes but no nut cert. So I gotta weld these in so I can get threads to bolt it in, but I can't actually put the intercooler in yet because these pieces broke off of it. So this is a bracket that holds it in, and then this little peg goes on the bottom and guides it into those holes. So I gotta weld, I gotta go down to my buddy Dave's house and see if we can TIG weld this, because this is aluminum. All right. Look, it's not super pretty, but it works. That's all I care about. So my kit came in to do all of this, KDP fix and the timing gasket and the fluid dampener, harmonic balancer, the crank seal. I did notice this before I took that fan pulley off, but during the wreck, when it pushed everything forward, I can tell that it pushed that fan bearing into these bolts here. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that, like if I'm going to have to get another fan assembly thing or push it forward, get a new bearing for that. I don't know, because it's offset now. If it's been pushed back, then that means it's offset. The belt will be offset versus the rest of the truck. And let's say you're going down the highway and your RPMs are real high, you know, what if that belt decides it's going to fly off there and tear everything up? I don't know, but the bearing tracks true, like it doesn't bind or anything. You can tell it messed up these threads a little bit, but the fan clutch screws on fine. Like it screws on without issue. Oh my gosh, that's the easiest harmonic balancer. You know, I don't know the technical term for these. I can already tell the comments are coming because they're called a fluid dampener. I don't know. Fluid dampener, harmonic balancer, crank pulley. I don't know. I just always call them harmonic balancers. I was wondering if I needed a puller, but I looked it up online and they said just give it a good tug, and wow. The beauty of a Cummins, that is easy. You usually got to get a puller out, strip some bolts. It won't come off. So we obviously must have some leak down here. Maybe it's good we're doing this, not just the KDP fix, but just to do it, because obviously there's oil leaking from somewhere, and it's kind of pooled up here. So it could be, I mean, look at that. If it was the oil pan, it would just be coming out right here and going down. Well, maybe not, because you got the everything turning right here, so it could be slinging it up. But it may be this, and getting on that harmonic balancer fluid dampener and slinging it around. So we may inadvertently fix an oil leak. But this thing right here, this is another issue. I mean, I don't know if it's an issue, but this is what basically tells the truck your tach, and I believe it has to do with your charging, even in 98. So this has to be set within, I think, 50 thousandths. There has to be a 50 thousandths gap between this and the fluid dampener in order for it to read. And if this is not reading, it messes up your whole truck. Loose. Interesting. Oh. Dowel pin looks like it hasn't moved at all, which is good. But either way, we'll still put the fix in it. So this looks like a whole mechanical mess in here, but really it all makes sense. So this is obviously your crank. I want to say this is the oil pump, I think. And then this is your cam gear, connected right to your camshaft. This is your vacuum pump that's right behind here. So it's the gear, the vacuum pump, and then the power steering pump is connected to it. So they need vacuum pumps to run all the vacuum accessories because these engines obviously do not create vacuum that you can pull from the manifold. They're creating boost from the turbo, so you always have positive pressure instead of negative pressure, so they have to put a vacuum pump on to manufacture vacuum. Then this is your injection pump gear. So this is connected right to the P pump. As the cam turns the injection pump, rotates it to spit out the fuel where it needs to go. So this right here is the killer dowel pin, as everyone so lovingly calls it. So what happens with that pin, the pin is in there to stop the timing cover case from rattling, I guess. And that pin, over time, from vibrations, will work its way out, and once it hits this gear, chomps into this gear, and then it breaks the cam gear, can break the camshaft, bust the pump gear. I mean, it tears it up. If you get lucky, sometimes they'll fall out and fall right into the oil pan. But if they don't and it catches in the gear, I don't care if the engine's got low mile, 30,000 mile engine, never been driven. If that pin falls out, your engine's done, the whole engine. I've seen some people, they'll take this cover off and the pin is like a 1/4 inch out, like protruding, but nothing's happened with this one. But you know, it's just an insurance policy. Before I put the seal in and reinstall this timing cover, I'm gonna clean it off and pressure wash it. To do that, I'm using CRC's parts cleaner and degreaser. And I want to thank CRC for deciding to become a sponsor of the channel and sending some of this product, brake clean, degreaser, evapo rust, all stuff we use on the channel, and really products I've been using for decades anyway. They really do make good stuff. So next time you're in the store, make sure you pick up some CRC products. Danger, extremely flammable, eye irritant, contents under pressure. Read the warnings on the back pan. That's how you know it works right there. If it can't hurt you, it doesn't work. So I just happen to have this ginormous socket that fits this perfectly. This is what we're going to use to take it out and put the new one in. Yeah, this nylon thing. See this orange nylon? How it's there, and then how on this one it's tore off. Then you got the seal part, which is kind of hard. So, yeah, not a bad thing to do. Okay, now for the killer dowel pin. I want to do this by hand because I want to feel how tight that bolt was, so that I can just snug it down real good. There's not really a torque spec for it. I don't want to go too little or too much. Like Goldilocks, just right. That's all it is. All right, the big old KDP issue. That's the little fix right there. That's all it is. Little tab. I've never done this before, actually. All the Cummins I've had and everything, I've never done this. Never needed to. So we'll snug it down. That's what they said. Snug it down real good. So, okay. I feel good about that. Give the mating surfaces the old brake clean treatment. You know, that's one thing I like working on newer stuff like this out of the 90s versus the 50s stuff is like, look at this mating surface. It's nice and clean and flat and perfect. The gasket came off really without issue. When you're dealing with stuff out of the 50s, you have to peel it off. You have to get a scraper, get a grinder, get a cutter, and take it off piece by piece. I mean, do an oil pan on something out of the 50s. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a nightmare. The gasket came off all in one piece. Gosh, compared to the other stuff that I like working on, this is cake work, really. And we're going to put the gasket on dry without RTV. You shouldn't need it. These mating surfaces should be really good. All right. Let's just try to get this seal over the crank first. Perfect. Okay. You want to be careful when doing stuff like that because it's a lip seal. And if you just shove it on there, what you'll do is you can fold part of the lip forward instead of it all facing the same direction, and then you'll have a leak. So I'm just making sure that the whole lip is facing one way. A lot of real older vehicles, like stuff from the dawn of time up into the 50s, 60s, 80s, the mating surfaces were good but not always perfect, so there was a lot of RTV. You need a lot of RTV. But nowadays, like with stuff like this, the mating surfaces are a lot better and a little more exact. And if you have two good mating surfaces and a good gasket, you should not need RTV, really. So we got to take a break real quick from working on this to help out a neighbor. You guys know that whenever I need help with something that I can't necessarily do here, phone a friend, call a neighbor. This neighborhood's full of really can-do kind of people. And sometimes I ask my buddy Dave for help welding, and sometimes I ask my buddy Gil for help with steel work, and that's the gentleman that owns this truck and this trailer right here. He's made the, he helps me make some stuff for my signs, you know, because he knows I like to collect, and he made this awesome custom bracket for this. You know, he made this beautiful radius for the outside of the sign, welded these up and welded it up so I could hang it from the wall, and it comes out and looks really good. He also made the tabs up and welded them to that ring for my Amlico sign. Cut those out of some real nice thick steel. He made me, because I didn't have a real good way to hang these signs, so I wanted to mount them on the wall. I didn't want to mount them like this because it seems a little more dead. I like it when they're a little more active. They come out from the wall. And look at what he made me. Made me this awesome Pavelli's ice cream, full frame, goes all the way around the sign. He made tabs for the top so I could bolt it in, and then two tabs that come up right here and right here. Put one on each side of the sign, and I put electrical tape around them so the sign doesn't try to swing on those tabs because it's hard mounted in. You know, when I need something, they drop everything to help me, so I'm dropping everything to help him. And what he needs right now is a new connector on his trailer. This trailer is pretty old. It's got to be from the 80s or the 90s, and this plug-in, it's kind of messed up. And this one, the pins are pushed in and everything, so it doesn't really connect. So he got another one of these connectors. The one prong to another prong to this one. So he got another one of these, and I got to put this on so he can plug in his trailer. Look at that. Fell apart in my hand. try it. All right, we got nothing. So what's going on there? All right, it just needed to be jiggled. So let's try the right. Come on. Let's try running lights. Okay, so we got all the running lights on the back working. License plate light, tail lights. We got a couple of lights out, but I don't think that's my fault. Let's try the brake lights. Off, on, off, on, off. Well, the brake light and the signal on this side is not working, but when the bulbs come on when I do the tail lights. So that leads me to believe that I probably have one of the wires on the connector in the wrong spot. I bet the S that controls the trailer brakes is really wired up for the turn signal. Huh, now it's always on. So I have the right turn signal on right now, and I have this adapter unplugged. So if you touch this, this is the one I switched the right turn signal to. That's why it's like it's always on the back of the trailer, because it's wired into this prong, which obviously is just constantly on, which we really don't want. What we're trying to do is find the prong that is getting the right turn signal, which we're not getting any turn signal action. See, we're back to the constant, and then this one is not. So we don't have the right turn signal in here. So it's behind here. So he didn't have right turn signals when he came here for me to do this. So I just got everything buttoned up. Everything works except the right turn signal, brake lights and all that, but it's getting late. He needs this for tomorrow, and I can't find where it's losing power. So he'll be good enough to get around for tomorrow, but yeah, it's losing power like somewhere further forward, and I can't find it right now where it's losing it. But that's something that was going on before the truck got here. So we'll get this back to him right now, and maybe we'll fix it later. We'll continue on. All right, so we're going to advance the timing now, and to do that is just a little bit of a technical process. We're going to have to find top dead center number 1, which luckily there is a pin on the back of the timing cover. There we go, I'm feeling it with my hand. So it should go in and out. Let's see here. When you rotate the engine, the pin will slip into a slot on the timing gear. Then you know you're at top dead center number 1. And then you can pop this nut off, pop the injection gear off. And then once the gear is not connected to the pump anymore, you can rotate the engine counterclockwise. In our case, 2 degrees, because it's at 14, we want to take it to 16. So we want to add 2 degrees of timing, and then once we've done that, we can bolt it back together and seal everything up. I don't know if you can hear that, but I loosened it up with a hammer and pliers. Like, I hit it back and forth, so it's just stuck. But all right, so it's kind of up against the cam gear. Let's turn the engine until we get to where we need to be. Come on, I know we're just right there. I can feel it. Okay. I'm breaking something. That wasn't too bad. So I used power-driven diesel's pump gear puller to pull the gear off. You can see it's loose, right? And what some people do is they'll just say go 1/4 inch. Well, it's hard to measure 1/4 inch, so they got this wheel again from power driven. Real convenient. It's just a cheap little magnetic plastic wheel thing. And we're going to put a piece of wire on this bolt and have it over here so we can know exactly how far we've turned the engine. And then we'll just move it to where we want it. You know what? Let's just put it at 0 because that's a nice big red line. The point is we're moving it 2 degrees. You can put it at 14, which is what the technical stock timing should be, but it doesn't really matter what number you put it on as long as you recognize that you're going 2 degrees. Okay, so that wire is directly on 0 degrees. So we rotate the engine counterclockwise. Oh, all right, well, we just blew the engine up. Hold on, let's go back. So that's 2, right? Actually, that's 3. That's it, not a lot. So you want to hit this with a bunch of brake clean to get any residual grease off, because if there's like grease, it kind of, you know, it's obviously slippery, and when you put the nut on, this is just a shaft that's like that. You know, it's just a cone, and if there's grease on there, even when you tighten this nut, the pump can shift on the gear. So you want to make sure there's no grease, oil. Okay, done.
Everything, there was only one wire or one plug in under it, but let's just sound like anything's hooked. Might have to walk that way a little bit. All right. Walk your side around. Look.
Was that some socks, gloves?
Dirty pair of underwear when the guy had a wreck.
There you go, you can keep it.
Can I keep these? They wrapped them up.
Yeah,
I'll put them in my pocket and just keep them.
Yeah.
Cutters.
Box cutters.
Oh, yeah. Should come out unless something's hooked or
There.
oh, maybe it was stuck to the wall. Don't break anything. Oh, I know. Maybe it has to come up. It's hooked in this. Look. It's got to come up higher. Look at that. That's perfect, man. There's a good spot to push. Right here. Heck yeah. Look at that. I'll kick it and maybe it'll come out. Come out any?
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of getting there. Yeah. Okay.
How's that?
It's better for sure.
How's that? You mean kick it farther?
Nah, cause some of it's kind of. Oh, there we go. Kind of tin cannon out. It still needs some tweaking.
Yeah, but it mostly came out, huh? I got a little happy here.
Did you kick that in?
Evidently. Just have to pull it back out.
Oh well. Seat will cover it anyway.
Nobody gonna see it. Well, it goes underneath this unless we can pull it out from behind this. Yeah, all right. Yeah, it'll come out.
Man, this just ruined this truck.
Yeah, be all right. It just be just undercoated for the floor. This goes with it. I don't know what. I've never had a use for them. Throw them away. Okay. Careful.
All right, well, let's try and get it from the back. Can we pull it forward? Well, it'll be like brand new.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very nice truck.
So I was able to go to my neighbor's house yesterday evening, my buddy Nicholas, and he was able to TIG weld this for me. Cleaned it off good, welded back on that bracket, and this other piece down here at the bottom, this peg fell off. We were able to heat up the other peg and bend it back kind of straight because it was bent backwards from the wreck. Didn't break, but we were able to tweak it back. So now, with the pegs on and this on, should be able to set it on the core support and finish this thing up finally.
Well, you got to find out what's going to resolve it,
Oh. Ah. I see. The radiator has to... Just throw it away. Completed cross member, not dented, with all of its rads, is officially together and ready to go on whenever I need it. And also, something I didn't say is there was a guy that had a parts truck, and I did get this door off of his 98, or what was it, 01 I think, parts truck. So this one's the correct door with the L, you know, for the back doors, and doesn't have any dents, no crunch up there. So we have a good door to set on there now, so we can get a good feel for what it's going to take to fix this front part of the cab.
Okay, so we need to go forward. Okay. Here, just latch it. Make it easier to needs to go higher. Hold on.
In. There.
Okay, so there we go. That one there might go in.
What needs to happen?
Well, I need to unloosen that just a hair, and I'm just trying to get the hinges to match up, you know, to where it was. Do that again. A little bit. Okay, hold on, right there.
Is it in?
Well, it feels like it kind of started, but
Yeah, we've got a problem. Yeah, we have some kind of major issue. I mean, this door is just as bad as the other one, so I don't know. Could be the cab tweaked. I don't know.
so let's take the bolts out of the door and put it up against the cab. I'm trying to see, did this get knocked in? If this got knocked in, let's see if it got knocked in, it would pull the door out on the top.
After all of this, I got some news for you guys. The door is as far up against the cab as possible, and we've tried everything basically humanly possible to get this door to align. And the reason why it looks so good right now is because it's not even bolted to the hinges, because if we bolt it to the hinges, the door does that, just like it was in the beginning. So you see that? I have a light in there. You see that big, ginormous gap? The cab is tweaked. The cab itself is tweaked. It's not just like dents and replacing panels anymore. The cab is tweaked. And we saw that not only from this, but if you get over here, see how that's pushed up on top of this being hit? So it's not just replacing panels and dented stuff. The cab is been worked over, and that's a whole different ball game. I mean, the weather stripping should be up against the door. There should be no gap because it has to be, I mean, waterproof. You know, it has to be waterproof. And even with it not bolted, see, and look how far away. So you see right here where it originally was sitting and how far away it is. I mean, it's not matching up whatsoever. This looks okay, but even when you get to here, see that? So, yeah, cab is bent out around. It's out of square. And in here you can see it even better. Look at that ginormous gap. And that's not the door. The door is straight. It's the cab itself. I know this door is straight. This truck wasn't in a wreck that this door came off of. I know it's the cab. I think I'm just going to have to call it on this one. I don't think this one's getting put back on the road, which is something that I really never do. I always finish what I start, but at some point, you know, you also have to come to a conclusion of, is it worth it? Because the issues are just mounting on top of themselves, and nothing, no matter how far I try and dig out of this hole, it just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And at this point, we're building a new truck. I mean, we're building a new truck at this point. We're already doing a bed, need a bumper, the whole front end, you know, front bumper, hood, fender, core support, radiators, and on top of the tar sealer that's still on the cab, the window being busted, which is another $400. We have a tweaked cab, so now we need a cab replacement. We're doing an entire truck. It's just not feasible. I mean, why? You know, if I wait around long enough, I can find what I want, this combo, and buy it for the money and time I'm going to have trying to fix this. And really, I had to take a step back and look at this thing and just think about it for a second. And we're getting to that sunk cost fallacy. You feel like you have to continue on with an endeavor even if you've invested some money and time and effort, because you feel that you're dedicated now to see it to the end, even if the costs far outweigh any of the benefits you'll ever see in the end. So I got nothing to prove to myself by just forcing myself to put it back on the road. So I think I'm going to call it and just say, you know what, it's done. I'm going to sell it as is. It's not a total loss because the Cummins engine, drivetrain, drive shaft, rear end, it still runs and drives. That's worth something. That's worth at least what I gave or a little bit more than what I gave for the truck. So it's not a total loss. And I'm really just going to have to swallow that pill and move on. That's that. So we're going to work on this Cummins engine for a minute here. My dad has been trying to clear house for some months now, and my dad bought this engine like 2 or 3 years ago, and he was missing a lot of parts for it. Okay, it's been here for some years. It's time to put it together and try and start it and sell it. So he found a vacuum pump and a power steering pump that was missing. He had to find, well, I gave him my old exhaust manifold from the 12 valve I'm building for the 650 horsepower build, because I put a 3-piece manifold on. So I gave him this manifold. He had that turbo. He had to buy an adapter plate and a flywheel and all that stuff, a starter. So he's just been piecing it together. And the motor turned, but when he started turning it with a pry bar on the flywheel, and then he hit a hard spot, which he didn't know was there. Because when he bought it, he turned it a little bit, said, all right, well, it looks good, but it's hitting some kind of hard spot.
Yeah, the guy told him, I'm not saying the guy was a liar or anything. He just told me it was a low mileage motor. And by the looks of it, it did look like a low mileage motor. And that was part of the reason I bought it. He was seemed to be a very honest guy. And,
looks clean.
Yeah, but what didn't make any sense to me is every single thing on the motor was loose. The oil pan was off of it. The oil pickup tube was off of it. All the pieces on the motor was missing. You know, like Travis said, all the stuff was missing. Everything on the block was loose. Everything was off of it and loose, but I got most of it in a pile. All the injector lines were loose and off. They'd taken all the return banjos. They was all gone. So over a period of time, I've just been buying and piecing things together a little bit because I thought it was a very nice motor.
Could turn into something different.
Yeah, it probably is. When you try to turn it, it stops. And then if you try to go this way, it'll hit the same scenario. Funny thing is, I don't hear nothing. And when I had the pan off of it, or the pan was off of it, I looked up inside the motor and it looked brand new. It looked beautiful. Right there, it stops.
Dang.
And look, check it. And I did notice this morning. This is not supposed to be.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
That's a no-go. Go up there and
That's
look.
the friggin' crankshaft.
Well, it'd be your thrust bearings for whatever reason.
Oh my gosh.
So something.
That's insane. How'd you end up trying that?
As I was turning it, I was looking at the gap because I wanted to make sure that I didn't do something with the flywheel to where it was catching on the cover. So I was looking at it and I did this, and that's when I noticed that. That's when I noticed that.
Wow. Yeah, holy crap, that's not good.
Not good. So, still don't know. I mean, when I did have the pan off of it, I looked up inside the motor and it looked good. Man, I grabbed all the rods. None of the rods were loose. So, unless the crankshaft is broken, I mean, sometimes they'll break, but it still should turn over, you'd think. Even if it's broke, you'd still think it would turn over. Probably pull the valve covers on it, see if the camshaft's even turning, to see if maybe something happened in the front of the motor. Maybe the killer dowel pin come out and it fell down in there and it just totally wreaked havoc on the crankshaft. I don't know. 7 in a row. See what got broke.
Are you turning it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Is the camshaft turning? Oh, that's the first time I heard that noise.
It's moving.
Is it?
Yeah. I can see these moving.
Oh yeah, okay, I do see it.
Yeah, I mean, they're moving.
Okay. Okay, did you hear that one noise I heard?
I did hear that.
Should we go ahead and pull the front timing or the front injector cover?
I can see the valves like moving, so the
Hear that? Did you hear that noise?
Yeah, I did hear that again. This timing cover bolt is already loose.
Kind of interesting to see what the heck happened, huh?
Someone had this off.
Something is very abrupt.
Oh, that ain't good.
What? What do you see?
The nut.
Oh,
The
that's
nut's not even on the injection pump.
Oh, we might be
We're getting closer.
We might be getting closer.
We're getting closer. Oh God.
This ain't gonna be pretty. The nuts on the
Your air's not on.
Oh.
Yeah, the nut ain't even on the injection pump.
Oh no. Is there gonna be a surprise?
Look at that.
Yeah, it's not even on there.
Let's mark it.
Just have to retime it. It's got to be off on timing. It's turning. Oh. No.
Did you hit that hard spot?
Yeah.
We got the engine back on the engine stand. Got it cocked a little bit. We're going to pull the pan off. All 186 bolts. See what's going on in there. Hopefully we can see it by looking at the crank.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to see the revealing. Still don't see nothing.
Camshaft.
Still don't see nothing. Where's the thrust bearing? Well, obviously it's not been rebuilt.
Let's look at that bearing.
Bearing looks
Bearing
beautiful.
doesn't look bad at all.
What? Wow.
A lot of you probably know what a thrust bearing is, but if you don't, most main bearings are just flat. But there's one or two usually that'll have they go, how would you say it? They go around the block. They go around the...
Keeps the crank from moving back and forth.
Yeah, and they ride up against the crankshaft to stop it from moving back and forth. Move that. But you can see how there's bearing on the left side, but on the right side there is no bearing. See that? Because there's no bearing on the left-hand side, that crank is just free to move. But that also doesn't explain our
dilemma of it not turning over.
Right.
Nope.
Still hitting that hard spot?
Yeah.
We tightened up all the main caps again. Now the thrust bearing is worn off. Could be from excessive torquing it, and maybe it was a manual or something. That could be an issue, but that still wouldn't stop it from rotating. And I looked, I had Dad rotate it, and I looked at the bottom of the pistons to see if like there was a hole in a piston or any kind of damage, cylinder wall damage, anything. And the bottom end of this looks immaculate. The main bearing you saw looks beautiful. It looks brand new. So what we're doing now is most all diesels and these 12 valves, they're interference engines, meaning if if the valve, at the lowest part of the valve being open, the piston can hit it. That's unlikely because it's a gear, and the fact that the engine could somehow be out of time in any way is very, very nil, unless there's a valve being hung open or something from something else. So we're going to loosen the rocker arms and see if it rotates. Nope. Whichever one you loosen, if that's a problem, this will go. Okay. Nope, not it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. Hitting. I think we found something out. So I noticed that this had rust on it right here. I did notice that when we took these valve covers off, that there's no rust anywhere else. There's some here, so it sat open. Then Dad noticed there's a little bit of rust on one of the cylinders. If you look at the crank, see how there's a little bit of rust on the crank? So water got down in here, and if you look at that piston, you can see rust on it. So I bet you there's rust in the cylinder, and it's hitting that rust ring when it comes up.
That's why it only moves just a small amount and then stops. It's hitting that rust on that cylinder.
So update, it is the next day, and we have some news on the 12 valve. All right, so in the afternoon, took this apart. We got a whole mess going on here. I mean, a mess. So we thought there was rust in the cylinders, right? That's why it's not turning. That is bad. It's not just a little skim on there, a little thin layer. That is bad. You've seen us on the channel deal with engines that are this bad, but they're gassers. They're not diesels. You've seen me shove the little camera thing in the cylinders and just look at piles of rust. Specifically that 57 Pontiac that we put the camera in, and it looked like there was just handfuls of rust. And you know, we've just, for the video, we'll work them and just force them and whatever. But something like this, a diesel, could you force it, hone the cylinder, clean it up and all that? Maybe you could, but the thing about it is these diesels, they're more technical than gas engines, and this engine needs to be rebuilt. It needs to be honed or bored or whatever. And if you bore one, you really need to kind of bore them all. Everything needs to be correct. And if you just clean that up and say, all right, let's put it back together and just run it and clean the cylinder up, you're going to have a lot of blow by. You're going to start burning oil. It's going to be getting past the rings. The walls are scored. You don't want to do that with a diesel. Because of my dad being at his wit's end, for one, having lots of time and putting this engine together, and he's going to put it up for sale. It's just, at this point, the engine needs to be rebuilt. It still needs that thrust bearing. We don't even know if the injection pump's good. And he said the top, when he took the injection lines off of the injectors, like the top of the injectors looked kind of rusted. So this thing is just, needs way more work than what we're really willing to put up with right now, what my dad's willing to put up with. So he put it up for sale. He put the long block up for sale. And I think he's got it up for $800 or $1,000 with the head, $800 without the head or something like that. So I don't know if it's like a father-son thing. What we've both kind of gotten the hard end of the stick on our deals lately, you know, with the 98 Cummins and this engine. We both got rammed at the same exact time. It's crazy how that works. When you're doing deals and you're kind of working for yourself and you're trying to work through issues and you buy things cheap because you fix them, I mean, sometimes you just accidentally make bad investments. Sometimes you just, what I call getting popped. Sometimes you just get popped. That's the brakes, man. This video does not have to conclude on a bad note. You'll notice that the 55 Pontiac is sitting in the spot where the 48 Chevy usually sits, and that's because I think I have the 48 Chevy sold. So let's deal with that. So I wanted to throw this segment in because you guys know I like to update you guys on the cars that have been on the channel and the projects and the progress and what's going on with them. So, oh, this truck looks so good in front of that sign, doesn't it? So you guys saw I put like 6 videos out on the build of this truck starting at the beginning of 2024. The first day of 2024, actually, I put the video out of Dad and me going and getting this from New Mexico, the Will It Run episode, and then the 5 other episodes of doing the engine, and you guys saw all that. But anyway, I've had it for a year and 3 months. I've been driving it around, and I did sell it. Sold it to a local guy in Tucson, and he's not here right now because he's going and getting the cash now. So I have a little bit of last moments with this beautiful truck. Oh, killer look. Restoring this would be a sin because it's just so cool. Yeah, all the wiring was done, and the engine, I did the engine, you know, brand new 235, and I really enjoyed driving this truck over the last 8 months. It's just so cool. Got the right look. I put this up for sale, and I've never had so much interest in a truck in my life. Crazy. The demand for these is nuts. You guys saw the interior. Wow, what a truck, huh? Yeah, I didn't want to sell it for a while, but I felt like recently it was time. And I'm telling you, it's going to the right guy. The second he pulled up, he loved the truck, thought the look was great, and I had like 3 other people come and look at it, and they were just nitpicking the rust and shaking things underneath and kicking the tires and saying, oh, it needs a lot of work. And no, it doesn't. I know on face value you would say it needs a lot of work, but to me this is the completed product. This is cool. This is a drivable truck. This is a functional truck. It's a usable truck, and it's been mechanically straightened out, put together, and it's very functional, and I just think it should stay this way. It looks cool this way. And he saw the same thing too, whereas the other people who looked did not. And it's just going to the right dude. I don't always do really in-depth builds on a vehicle. I mean, it's very rare that I put 6 or 7 videos out on one vehicle, but this one I felt deserved it. I love these body styles of trucks. My first truck, which I still have, which you see in the background, is a 50 GMC, same body style. So I have a heart for them. I think they're cool. They got a great look. And this one deserves 6 videos. Actually 7, because I put the 3-hour compilation video out on it, which is doing awesome, by the way. Thank you guys for watching that. All right, so Vaughn is back to pick up his Chevrolet. His brand new Chevrolet. Oh, he's got to turn the dome light off. I had it on for aesthetics. You know, it's cool. Oh yeah, it went to the right guy, man. It went to the right guy. I think I'm actually gonna be friends with him. I think I'm gonna go over to his house soon. That's how guys make friends.